3,
Three,
2,
two,
1.
one.
We're alive. Hot shit, you made it. Welcome to another episode of This Is the Future.
Unfortunately.
Bet your ass. Hope y'all are doing well.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for tuning in.
That's
And I
sweet
just
ass.
want to point out something exciting. Alex is coming to you live from a cup. That's right. He is doing the show from his phone in a cup, and it looks amazing.
Yeah, it's turns out my like $1,100 computer is complete fucking trash, and don't buy Apple products. Steve Jobs is a liar and a crook, and I don't care about him at all. I'm glad he's dead.
He's dead, and he's still stealing shit.
I know, right? He didn't do anything anyway. He's just like whatever. But I have headphones in, right? And I have to plug it into the bottom of my phone, so therefore I can't set the phone up. So every time but Tony's recording on a computer, so I can't turn my phone on the side to set it because he can't turn his computer to make the screen go sideways. So I'm in a cup. And if I fall over, it's because the cup is round and the phone's a rectangle. So just so you know, that's
My God, he's in a cup, everybody.
Yeah, man,
that's fun.
I'm in a cup and I'm doing all right. How are you, Tony?
I'm good, man. I'm awake and I'm sober. I haven't smoked yet. The last time we recorded, I can always tell. I mean, I know when I record a show and I was baked 5 hours ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not the same. So I try my best to not be loaded. But it is our show, damn it.
Yeah. Hey, man.
So anyway, yeah. I'm happy. I'm sober. It's beautiful out because it's raining, and that's why I moved here. I love depressing weather. I really do.
Yeah.
So everyone's like, no, everyone's still in bed. This is fantastic. But I did want to say that last night I had the most fun I've had at a job in a long time.
Oh yeah.
At the venue, I was fortunate enough to be put in the room for something called Dinosaur. Now, I don't know shit about this. I didn't know anything. So
what is Dinosaur? What is Dinosaur?
I got you. Yeah, no, I got you. So here it is. So I looked on for the poster for the show. It's a picture of a big T-Rex, like a dinosaur, like ah. So I figured it was just like a family thing where they're going to do a 3D dinosaur show for kids or something. I don't know. So then I'm like really trying to figure this out, and turns out, I believe it's a podcast. I'm going to sound ignorant here. I didn't have time to look all this up, but I gather that it's an actual podcast. It's improv. It's an improv group. But when they came on stage, we know half of them. They're on TV. These people are not like people you've never heard of. So here's the lineup. What's the dude that I recognize? Paul Scheer.
Oh, whoa. Yeah.
So he's running the thing. And then I always screw this dude's name up. Jason Manitoukis.
That sounds.
He's a tan fella. He's usually got a beard. He's in a lot of comedies. He says a lot of crazy shit. I've seen him in a bunch of stuff. And Owen Burke, Seth Morris. These aren't all the people that were on there. Lisa Gilroy, Carl Tart. Some of them were there. They mix it up. But there was like 8 people. And Paul Scheer, it's like he's running the show, and he had a book signing as part of it. Long story short, Dinosaur is a touring improv show. I take it, and that's what I got to see. And I'm not a big improv person. I'm not, but fuck, it was great. What they did was they came out and he was like, listen, we're gonna ask for some stories. We're gonna ask some people to stand up and tell us some stories, and then we're gonna feed off of that. So they basically let people come down, talk to the mics, tell their stories. And everyone had like a cool, like this happened and then a crazy twist.
Right.
I'll just point out my favorite. The one guy he was up top and he came down to the mic and he's like, I got stood up tonight. I'm supposed to have a date with me. And she stood me up. And so we're all like damn, that sucks. Like, and then the guy, one of the hosts or whatever, he was like, everyone in here wants to sleep with this guy. Like it was like that, there was laughs as much as you could get. Long story short, this guy got stood up by a coworker, right? Guess where they both work?
Mm.
A strip club. He's a DJ.
Yep.
She's a stripper.
Yep. Mm.
Right after the show, what does he have to do? Go back to work where she's working. It was fucking great. It wasn't so much the improv, it was the stories that they were getting to do the show with. I was like, these are fucking great.
Dude, that's awesome. Like,
It was so good.
like he has to go back to work, like, and work with her, like, you know, the next night or whatever, and you imagine he has to like call her name, you know,
Oh yeah.
up to the stage next is a liar, is a
A
is
liar.
a fraud and a liar.
You see how she's standing on stage? That's the same way she stood me up 3 hours ago.
Yeah. Yeah, she's gonna slide up and down that pole just like she slid out of our date. That slippery bitch.
Oh my God, I can't even imagine. So I went foggy brained after that one. So yeah, basically, and well, here's the thing. This is what it was. The whole thing, the whole night was Portland as fuck. Like all the stories were fantastic. But basically, he said the way she stood him up. She said, "Do you have a car?" And he said no. So she stood him up. So basically, I get that. She's on her feet all day. She doesn't want to walk. I understand. But it was super funny, dude. And they were just going back and forth. They took these stories and ran with it. They did a great fucking job. And then at the end of the night, I got to clean the green room. And one of the poor girls that was part of the improv, we didn't know what she had actually done, but someone exploded a bottle of wine all over our tan-colored couch.
Cool.
And so, like 11:30 at night, I'm just like, whoa! Like they're sitting over here with Tide stick. She's like, does anyone have a Tide stick? And we're like, Tide stick? Oh, she must have spilled something on her shirt. Like, no, we don't have anything. Come to find out, we didn't know what was going on in the green room. So we go into the green room 3 hours later, and it's just like, oh, a Tide stick, honey. The whole Tide, everything that Tide produces in a day on the fucking, the factory line wouldn't clean this shit out. We're burning this couch.
Yeah.
So, yeah, basically it was funny as hell. And then they torched our couch. It was just funny to watch him. Working with somebody, he's like the boss or whatever, and the middle-aged man, he's like, it's going to come out. I was like, if you do that, now you're going to have cleaner stains on a tan couch than the color of the couch. So everyone's just going to be like, oh, look, it's the cum couch, because that's what it's going to look, and it's a lot. So it was a great night, man. I was like, yeah, it was a great show. You ruined a couch. I'll never forget it.
That's pretty cool. So, but they're gonna get rid of the couch. Like they can just leave it.
I was
It's
telling them, I was like, listen. Well, they were kind of bummed out about it. They were like, oh man, what are we gonna do? And I'm just like, tapestries. This is Portland. Yeah. There were a couple of tapestries on there. And then when the assholes do stuff, you just wash them.
Yeah.
No one listens to me, so they're probably getting a new couch.
What?
That's how I would do it.
What?
Whatever.
What?
You didn't hear me?
No, I heard you.
Fucking asshole.
You said no one listens to you.
You just pulled up your mug. I thought you were wearing those yellow rubber gloves. What the fuck is he doing over there? Did I interrupt foreplay? It is Sunday.
I'm cleaning. Can you? I need,
You're not wearing bottoms, are you? I know you.
Never.
You're not wearing bottoms.
Never. You think this whole time for the last almost 4 years I've been wearing pants? Forget about it.
Oh my God. Yeah. I don't know what you're doing over there, but at least you're not wearing rubber gloves.
Oh no! So, when I get up, this chair's gonna stick to me. It's gonna be weird.
It always does. I love that sound it makes when the show's over and you're like, it's like pulling tape off your ass.
Yeah, it's like it reminds me of Thanksgiving. Pulling that fucking that can of cranberries, that can of cranberry sauce.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's like,
this reminds me of dog food. Let's eat.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Can of cranberry sauce. So I did have one other thing that happened the other day. After Alex and I spent an hour trying to record a few days ago. We're not lazy. Technology just kicks our ass. So I went for a walk and I have a new neighborhood, new house. So I went down the street. There's a trail that goes into the woods, under the highway bridges, and out to the water, to the river. Or that it heads in that direction. So I went for a walk, and I get under these the bridges like for the highways and the interstate, and it's really cool. It's probably the coolest part. It's all wood, and they're like like cross sections and whatnot. So long story short, he's got this dude's in front of me, and he's got two dogs, and he has this backpack with him, and whatever. And all of a sudden he stops, and I'm coming up on him slowly, and I see him, and he's like dancing around, and he's got the two dogs or whatever. And first thing I notice, I walk up and I'm like, "Oh hey," saying hi to his dogs, and he's like, "Oh don't worry, they're leashed together." So instead of leashing them to something that doesn't move, he decided the safest bet was to leash his two dogs together. So they're running around, like he has about five, maybe like 3 feet of, like they have
Hmm.
a 3 foot leash to each other. And so I'm walking, and like the two dogs like come around me and like wrap around my legs like a bolo.
Yeah,
I'm like, whoa, like Jesus. He's like, it's okay. They're stuck together. I was like, I know, and now my legs are stuck to them.
yeah.
Like,
I think that's the problem here.
so that's part one. Part two is what's he doing? He stopped here. So I'm thinking to myself, all right, he's putting up a slack line,
Yeah.
right? I know Portland. This is going to be a slack line situation. He's going to bounce up and down while his dogs bounce around in circles. Nope. He's like, you know what? He's like, he's like, I'm gonna. It's like, are you gonna do a slack line? And he's like, no, actually, I'm gonna set up a jungle gym. I was like, and then, so I just kept walking. I was like, I'm just going to keep going. But you have to turn around. So after a few minutes, I turned around, I came back, and I'm coming up the hill, and I come upon him, and he's like, he is going for it. Like, he thinks no one else is around now. This guy is into it. But he's got his rings, like, hanging from the bridge. Like the Olympic rings.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So this is what he's set up. He's set up his Olympic rings, and he's dancing. He's taking breaks between dancing, and which is hey, fine. It's a public trail, but hey, it's fine. Dance. He's dancing around, and he's doing his ring routine. Just nothing professional, mind you. Just him. It honestly reminded him of any kid who had rings, and it's like wee, like
Swinging
that.
back and forth.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
was having fun. It wasn't like I need to work on my shoulders. It was like I'm just gonna. I bought these rings for $100 off Amazon, and damn it, I'm gonna use them. And that's what he was doing. That was his fucking Thursday. It was like, this is what I'm up to at 2 in the afternoon. I'm going to be Portland as fuck and has set up my rings and swing around while my dogs run each other in circles and right in the middle of the hiking trail, like on the hiking trail. Everyone will get to see this. You're welcome. I was just like, dude, I was just expecting to see the underside of a bridge. I didn't think all this was going to happen. Thank you. you beautiful whatever you are.
yeah.
That's it. That's all it was. But if you're just going out for a walk in any other city, you're not expecting that shit. Some graffiti, I saw that. That was cool, but not that. And I was like, dude, did you move here to do this? Like you did, right? You're like, I'm in Wisconsin. Wisconsin doesn't get it, but Portland will get it. And he's here now. He brought his rings. He brought his two dogs. They're never going to leave each other's side because he stapled them together essentially. So here we are. And and I'm not banging on Portland. People don't understand. This is the epicenter of the freak show. It's fantastic. I almost was late to work yesterday because there was 2,000 bikes on the fucking bridge.
Mm.
Why? Because they said it was fine and they did it. They had a parade. There was 7 parades last night at once. Why? I don't know. It just bled together, just a bunch of shit going down the road with lights and tutus. It was very interesting. So yeah, Portland is very fun if you just like to see crazy shit. It's not scary necessarily, it's just
Yeah,
crazy.
it's just there's just things that go on here that aren't like super duper weird, I don't think, but they don't a lot of those things don't happen other places. So like it's like the naked bike ride. Yeah, that's weird because it's a bunch of naked people on bikes. I don't know if that happens anywhere else. It happens here. I know it happens here. I feel if it does happen anywhere else, it doesn't happen a lot, very many places. I don't think.
It does happen in Philly, but I think it started here. I think that's all it
Mm-hmm.
is. I think Portland set that tone. It was like this is what we're gonna do. But to tie it back to what I said in the beginning, one of the people at the improv show last night brought up the naked bike ride. So of course they riffed on it. So long story short, they do like 10 minutes about getting pink eye. They're like this guy. They play the role. The guy, one of the actors, is running a bike shop and he's renting bikes. And people are coming back like, dude, my eye, I got it in both eyes. Be like, well, stop putting your face on the seat. You know, be like, it's just
Yeah.
talking about naked people with their bare asses on bike seats. It was really fun.
Wow.
It took Portland for an hour and a half and just gave it right back to itself. You know, and everyone laughed. It was really nice to see Portland laughing at itself
Right.
with its own stories from the people in the crowd. Like, and they kept saying "fuck Seattle," and I was like, Portland's starting to get some balls. Like, you know, like a little gusto. I'm like, good, you should stick up for your fucking city, even if you're not from here. That's fine.
Yeah.
But it was really a fun night, man. I was stoked. So yeah, everything that's weird about Portland came up in that show. And then I drive home and I see more of it. I'm like, this is it. This is fucking Disneyland. This is great. Low budget Disney. It's what we're at. It's what we're doing. So yeah, that was my last couple of days. They were more fruitful than the 2 weeks before it. So the comedy gods smiled upon me.
Right.
But that was a lot of fun.
So that's awesome.
Anyway, how the hell have you been?
I've been good, man. I've been up to a couple of things. It's a quick little story. I was it on Thursday night. I got home from work, a little bit of a late night, and probably got home around like 1:00. And then I think I'm like most people. I can't just go right to sleep. You know, like I gotta do a bunch of things. I gotta about at least 2 hours. Like I need, So, but to help me go to sleep, I been taking some weed gummies, and this weed in particular brand that I bought two different kinds. The gummy is a ball. It's like a round ball, and it has different slits in it where you're supposed to cut them. And then it's 100-gram ball, and you're supposed to cut like 10-gram slices. But again, it's a ball, so it's weird to cut. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't cut like even slices.
An equal share.
So I'm sure like I'm cutting slices that are probably 20 milligrams. I don't know, or bigger. So I ended up taking a slice of it, and like I said, it was late. It was probably, by the time I got to the gummy, it was probably around 2 or 2:30 in the morning. I ate it, passed out. I woke up and I could barely open my eyes. I was just like, they felt like they had like weights inside of my eyelids. I was just like, and I woke up. I'm like, I'm fucking high as shit. Like fucking just high as eagle tits. You know what I mean? Like just, and then I was supposed to meet up with a friend of mine for lunch before I went to work, and we're at a sushi place. We're talking and eating. I'm just eating, hanging out, and I look up at him, and then I go in my head. I go, I don't think I've said anything for like 10 minutes. just sitting there with like rice all over my face, and I realized I'm fucking high, like really high still, like not just groggy, but like I'm stoned. And I don't think and then I had to go to work, and I don't think I sobered up until like 6:00 at night, maybe.
Yeah.
So I definitely ate like, I don't know. It was a combination of taking it way too late and only getting like 6 hours of sleep, and probably accidentally taking like too many, like
right.
like
Hell yeah.
because I don't know, the ball was it's hard to. So like what I did last night to go to sleep with the gummy, I just took a little nibble. I just been biting it now, just like taking nibbles of it. So if you look at it, there's little tiny bite marks all over it.
Did a rat get into this?
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm not gonna try with this. It's too hard to cut. It's weird, but yeah. So that was. I've always had my whole taking drugs career. I have always my whole drug career. I've always been really bad at edibles. Really bad.
Help! I need help.
Oh yeah, that's you.
We both have our problems.
Yes, yeah.
The worst part, I just want to say this. I hate the weed hangover, especially from edibles, because you get that euphoria where you're going up and then you pass out, and that's what you wanted out of it. That's it.
Yeah.
But you wake up and you're just like, you feel like a flat tire. You're just
Yeah.
like, dude, what the hell is wrong with me? Like, I'm not tired. I'm not, like I'm tired and I'm hungover. That's what I'm fucking
That's
hungover
really
from
what it
weed.
is. He's
Mary's
hungover.
being a bitch.
Yeah.
Like, she won't stop nagging me. Go away, Mary. Like, fuck. 18 I get it. The only fun part about weed is the up. It's just like, whoop.
Yeah.
The rest of it, if you wake up in the morning, you're like, fuck, I'm the high and I hate life.
Yeah.
That's the bad side of weed. That's the dirty alley of weed. The hangover. It's just like alcohol, except the weed hangover. It's like, oh, you don't get a hangover from weed. Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
And you're an asshole usually.
Yeah, you
You're
don't.
so groggy.
It's like you're groggy, but you don't have like it's a different kind of hangover. It's not
It
like
just
a
seems to go on forever when it's inedible.
yeah. No, definitely. God, like I was seriously like I finally felt unhigh around 6 o'clock at night, give or take a half hour here and there. But yeah, like one time I accidentally you know what legalizing weed did is it made candy dishes unsafe. So they did. Like I want like a couple like I don't know, it's probably been like 5+ years ago. But one time it was around the holidays, so there was like a little dish of candy and I had
Mhm.
like some fudge in it and I took a piece of fudge. It's like a day or two after Christmas. And about 45 minutes later, I am so fucking high. I was Callie and I were like it was still like the first year of us dating and but I lived with her and her sister in this basement apartment, this little hobbit dwelling, this little tiny, little tiny place.
Little thatch roof.
Yeah, and we were just hanging out, and we got like Domino's or something, and we were watching the show Mindhunter. You ever watched that? It's
Yeah,
about
yeah, yeah.
the
I've
serial
heard of
killer
it.
and stuff.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And it was an episode the Ed Kemper, the co-ed killer, that guy that's like 6, like almost 7 foot.
I think I've seen this. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm realizing when we're watching that show that I am high, and I noticed this. I know this feeling. I must have ate something that had a bunch of weed in it, and I'm like, I could feel my highness, my.
The elevator go up.
I'm feeling it like getting. I feel like I'm getting higher and higher and higher, like progressively, like every like minute. But like for some reason, I didn't want to tell the girls, Callie and her sister, Taryn, like I just felt like they'd make fun of me. I felt nervous and awkward about it. Like we've only been dating like a little under a year. Like I'm like okay, I can't tell them. I just gotta play it off. So I was like, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna go in the kitchen. I'm gonna take like 3 shots of alcohol, of whiskey, because I like if I say something stupid, I can just be, I was drunk. I don't. That was my fucking thinking. Or like if I fall over, if I like fall like down, I'm like, I was drunk. I don't know why being drunk all of a sudden is a better excuse than accidentally dosing myself. I don't know why that was better. It's because it's not. It's way worse. So we're
What's
watching.
this fire need? More fuel.
Yeah. So we're watching Mindhunter, and like it shows about serial killers. So crazy shit. Like they talk about insane graphic things, and they showed stuff like they're talking to Ed Kemper, and he's like, yeah, and then I cut her head off, and
Yeah.
like for lack of better words, made love to it, and I'm like, oh no. I need to go to somewhere good. I can't do this
This
anymore.
is bad.
This is
This is
really bad.
bad.
And so I just get up and go to the bathroom, and I look in the mirror, and my eyes are as red as the devil's dick. I'm like, oh, I am so high. So I'm like, well, I don't have to go to the bathroom, but I am in here, and I don't want to seem like it's weird, like I'm in here for no reason. So I walked over. I don't know why. I like kind of like unbuttoned my pants, and I counted to like 20, and then I flushed the toilet. And then I'm like, wait, was that too long or not long enough? And I'm like, I should wash my hands. But I didn't do anything to make my hands dirty. So why do I need to wash my hands? Should you wash your hands before you go to the bathroom because you have to touch yourself? Now I start thinking about all these fucking things that don't make any sense. Then I'm like, wait, have I been in here too long? Like, and in the meantime, I have my pants down by my ankles. I'm just standing in the middle of the bathroom, naked, basically. And I'm like, I should leave. And then, and then we had pizza, right? And I didn't want them to know that I was high, so I didn't eat. I ate one slice of pizza because I thought in my stoned head that, oh, high Alex would eat the whole pizza, but not stoned Alex would just have one pizza and they'll never know I was high. And I'm like, no, normal Alex would eat a whole pizza no matter what. So night ended, went to sleep, and the next day we had roommates, upstairs roommates, and I guess that's where the candy came from. And Callie or Taryn was like, "Did you guys accidentally have some weed candy?" And they're like, "Yes, we were looking for it. Have you found it?" I was like, "I did. I found it." And they're like, "Oh my gosh." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm still high. She's like, "How much did you eat?" And I was like, "The whole thing. I didn't know it was weed." She's like, "Yeah, you should have cut that into 8 pieces." I'm like, "I didn't know it was weed."
That's fucking.
Yeah.
It's funny, but it's kind of scary.
It is kind of scary. And again,
there is a point to edibles that'll take you to see Jesus.
Oh yeah, I was like laying in bed vibrating like.
It's not great. It reminds me of when I used to huff paint thinner and I left it on my face too long. You
said that so casual.
I'm going for the laugh here. We don't need to tell that story again.
Yeah, it reminds me I used to huff paint, but it's like, it's remind me when
I saw the word Satan spelled in the ceiling in rainbows. Like it actually happened. But yeah, so don't do too many edibles. It'll be like huffing paint thinner. Side effects may include vibrating.
Yeah,
I know what you mean by vibrating, but I was on paint thinner. But I think I still vibrate from time to time. I feel bad now for ever smoking pot with you. You don't have any fun pot stories.
Well, I like smoking weed. It's just eating weed and smoking weed to me are like night and day. They're different.
Yeah, but you've had bad times with us just getting high.
Yeah, but they're all fun times. Like they're like not bad. Like sure, like.
What about the time we were in the sex shop? Was that a good time for you?
Oh yeah, that was fun. Like
okay, all right.
Sure, half my face.
You said half your body stopped working. I didn't.
Yeah, no, it did. It did, and it was great. It was fun.
But that was smoke, right? We didn't eat anything.
I don't know.
I don't either. Asking one pothead what the other pothead remembers. That makes sense.
Yeah, that was that night that the people tried to throw water. They threw like water balloons at us or something.
Yeah, that was a weird night. But yeah, absolutely. I just feel I feel a little bad. And also like, and now that I'm I live closer to you, and those years we spent not living near each other, those random I'm like, I wonder what Alex is up to. And here you are, living in a hobbit house, tripping out on pot all by yourself, trying to hide the fact that you're stoned.
Yeah.
All your edibles, especially your edible stories. I don't ever want to feed you edibles again. I'll watch you if you do feed yourself edibles. I don't want to do it.
There was a time that you and I we ate some weed brownies. It was probably the best time I've had on edibles, on weed food. It's like we ate some weed brownies and we went to a movie. And it was a comedy. It was something with Nick Schwartzman in it. I don't remember. But anyway, I remember everyone was laughing like in the theater and stuff. And I, for some reason, had my hands above my head in the movie theater, and I was laughing, and I was like, ha, 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 ha.
Yeah, he does that.
And I looked up, I'm like, why are my hands above my head? And I think it's because I was so high that my body felt like it was going up. Like I felt like I was like levitating. So I just like put my hands up like it was a ride. Like I'm like, yeah. And I don't like the people behind us never said anything, but I would. But put your fucking hands down.
Alex is at a fucking theme park. That is something that you and I have not done full blown. It would be fun even to get a group together and go to the theme park, eat some edibles, like I like to go to it at night. I like to get really fucked up at night at a theme park because no one can see your eyes,
Yeah.
like how bloodshot they are. So the paranoia goes down,
Oh
and
yeah.
just riding roller coasters because if that you have the fear, like if you take enough edibles, you'll get the fear like if you're taking acid or any drug that comes on like a wave. So right when you're peaking, if you're on a roller coaster or some shit or just anything that's like extra overstimulating, it's a blast to be around people when that happens. We've played I think we played like glow in the dark mini golf high as shit, and acted like it was a driving range, like
Cool.
edibles just make things fun until 2 hours later and it doesn't stop. And you're
Right.
just like, oh fuck. Oh well, I'm glad you had fun. I'm gonna get you some edibles. I did want to say this. Talk to me after the show. I have some edibles that'll work for you. They're the size of Starbursts, and they're because they're larger, but they're 10 milligrams. They taste good because they didn't condense the living shit out of it and just put in the medicine or whatever. So they taste way better. So anyway, I'll hook you up with something that's more reliable
Okay.
if you want
Okay.
safer edibles. Because once you figure out like 10 is probably enough, maybe
Oh
5.
yeah.
I don't
I'm looking into 5 and 10 round. That's what I'm. But also,
Yeah.
I was like thinking about like all these companies that make all these edibles, like what kind of sugar they use, right? There's different kinds of sugar, and sugar goes into your bloodstream fast, and different sugars are go in slower or faster, right?
Right.
Like cane sugar, like different granulated sugars. Like how big is the grain of sugar? Like it could all be different, you know. And
Right.
maybe I'm talking out my ass, but that's was what I feel.
But you make a valid point. I mean, pumping sugar, that's the whole thing is like, if you're going to get them to eat it, if it's going to taste decent, you're going to put sugar in it. Sugar is going to jack you up. So then if you're trying to make an edible that's going to take you down
Hmm.
and you're putting sugar in your product, you have to combat that. So I wonder if they're like, more weed. You know what I mean? It's like we got to make because the edibles are just I don't know. I don't know what it is with that kind of shit, but it's either all or nothing. I usually very rarely do I fall in the middle. When I
Hmm.
was at Disney, I took 2 one day, so 20 milligrams. Keeping in mind I ate 85 one time and had a really bad experience. I did 20, and I'm walking around Disney, and I'm just all of a sudden I'm just like, oh, and people, I'm like, I feel good. I was like, Disney's all right. And my parents my dad's like, yeah, this is fun. I'm like, yeah, this shit is good, man. Check
You're
out them
high too?
stormtroopers, man. Those dudes are shiny. I never seen such white stormtroopers as when I was high on fucking on weed candies. I was like, man. And they look like I asked my dad, I was like, do you think they use starch? He's like, what? Oh yeah, they're plastic. My bad.
Yeah. No,
I was
it's
just
just
like, are they
they're not
shiny?
plastic. They just use a lot of starch. So much starch that it's hard and slick.
Yeah. Too much starch is plastic. That's
Yeah.
what it is. Oh my god, yeah. So that's funny. So before we spent the whole show talking about drugs as usual, we did have a couple of things that Alex and I researched. We do a lot of research in between shows, just so you know. Which basically means me laying in bed sending Alex clips that I think are funny.
Yeah.
So last show we had touched on the portal. I think I had mentioned that there's a portal that was connected from Times Square into Ireland, and so we found a video, kind of like our video but funnier, about them talking about that, and basically we found a few more things out. I'll share one that I don't know if I mentioned, but one of the things that the people in Ireland were doing is they were showing people in New York a picture of the Twin Towers.
Dude, fucking people in Ireland apparently just have no fucking chill. They're just like, hey, you remember this terrible thing that happened to you guys? Look at.
But
Jesus,
listen,
man.
but isn't that the thing? At least what I like about it is like, especially Europeans, Americans are very soft. You go to any other country, almost any other country, and we are soft. We act like we're tough, but don't you make fun of me. Oh, he's so stupid for wearing that. That's us. Like, that's us. And that's what everyone sees in all these other countries. I went to high school in England. I do know what I'm talking about. So, in any case, it's funny for Ireland to be like, fuck off. Fuck yourself. It's like, wait a minute, but you're supposed to be, we're special. No, you're not. Look what happened to you. Like, oh. It's like if they could punch us through that portal, they would. They're Irish. They don't give a fuck. Two fists. Pow! One for each tower. They don't give a fuck. And I like that. I do like that. Just because it's humbling for us to be so. I don't know whose idea this was, and I don't care, but why in the fuck would you do that anyway? What do you think? Ireland? Ireland. The most feisty fuckers you know. You get them one drop of alcohol. They smell alcohol. Domestic violence.
Let's take a whiff
That's
of
it.
it. Yeah.
Domestic. You want to fucking fight? Like, no. I don't want to fight. Jesus Christ, no. I just ate 10 edibles. I don't want to fight anything.
Yeah, no, I'm too high to fight.
Me.
Yeah.
Just want to fight what I ingested. Do you remember what else was it that they said about it?
Oh, that a lady flashed flashed the camera. What side was it on? Was it in America?
America. Yeah, so they show us the Twin Towers. She shows titties.
And then she shows her Twin Towers. Yeah. Fucking. But yeah, I mean, isn't that what the portal is there for? Is for people to show their parts to each other? Like, isn't that like?
I mean, it's in Times Square. I guess so.
That's what they're there for, right? Like, like
it is now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, no one should be surprised that someone flashed the girls at like that's just.
Well, if you think of it on a bigger scale, let's just pretend we're both in a college classroom right now. We're evaluating the situation from different angles of human behavior. Let's just say that America was with our side of the portal. We were being very American because what happened was this girl showed her tits, but turns out she has an OnlyFans account. So she made money off of this. They shut the portal down and then they turned it back on. So basically, because we're in America, we are a shopping mall. We make money. We spend shit. That's what we do. We keep this whole world spinning because we consume like motherfuckers. And now we're showing our tits, we're showing our sex videos, whatever we can to make money because we're out of ideas. That's where we're at. That's America. So, of course, it's very American for us to be like, look at my tits. And then, she obviously shouldn't give a fuck. She's like, whatever, hey, show the world. I don't care. I'm on OnlyFans, So she made money. The very American thing. What she did with her side of the portal was she made money. And what they did in Ireland is very Irish. They told us to go fuck ourselves. It's perfect. But it's a perfect example of how they are over there. We're like, no, we're Irish. We're not going to show our tits. Fuck's wrong with you? You know? But America's like, profit.
Yep.
And the rest of the world's like, fuck you. Like, you idiots. That's it. Kind of, not to be mean, don't take it too hard if you're an American watching this, but I'm just telling you, you go to other countries, they're shaking their heads at us. They really are like, what the fuck are you doing?
Oh, yeah.
And we prove it every day, and they turn the portal back on. I'm like, why? Like, it's like, it wasn't cool that she showed her tits, but we're going to bring it back.
Yeah.
Like, why? Because it's making money. And I guess, I don't know, are they paying to be dicks in the portal? I don't know. But I want this portal to go different places. And I want there to be studies done.
Yeah.
But not in fun places. The portal should pop up in like a break room, like at the Nike factory. The break room at a Nike factory. Could you imagine?
They can't do that there. There's too many crimes that are committed.
I know. I'm just thinking, I want realism now. I want This is a drug lab in Colombia. Here's how fentanyl's made. And the portal leads to downtown Portland. Look, that's rat shit going into your drugs. Yep. Have fun.
Yep. Except it's a real portal, not like a video one. It's like a tube.
It's like Mario.
Yeah. Exactly. Fucking exactly.
So we were very American with the portal. And then we had one more thing that this is our unfortunate topic, if you will. This is the heavier one of the two. So this is a real conversation and we're going to go back. We're going to see what we come up with. So, long story short, I came across a video recently, and we will try to post these. Alex is doing a great job, in my opinion, on Instagram of getting this shit up. So there will be examples of what the hell we're talking about here with this one. But basically, there was a video where someone said they're not going to tip if they're getting their service standing up. So the
Yeah.
whole thing here is people have been bitching about tipping. It's gotten out of hand. Every time you get something, they flip the screen around on you, and you have to dig like you're looking for gold to find where it says no damn tip because I just got a sealed bottle of water. That's the premise here. And basically, people are saying, listen, I've had enough of this shit. So if I'm standing up, I'm not going to tip you. If I'm walking up to the counter and you give me something from behind you, bullshit, I'm not tipping you. And if I'm sitting down, they're saying, I will tip you. So and then I had one thing to throw in the middle of that. I agree with that. I do. The one thing I'll say, and I think that maybe this was an oversight. If I'm at a bar, I will always tip the bartender, even if I walk my ass up to the bar, ask for a beer. He just pops the top and gives it to me, he or she. I'm going to tip them $1. I've always done it. That's never going to change. That's the way it is. But anything else, I don't know. What is your take on it? I'm curious where you're coming from.
Well, there's a lot to break down because I'm always going to be on the side of the help, so to speak, because that is the industry that I'm in, and I
You
know
are.
what goes on behind it. We should have. I don't remember what channel, like what podcast this is. So it's a podcast. It's like I think there's like three guys talking, and what I'm gathering is they've never had to work very hard in their life. If they think just because they're standing up that they shouldn't have to tip,
Okay.
and it almost makes me upset. It makes me want to like, if I was in like, let's say I was a guest on their podcast for whatever reason, and that would never happen. I would probably get up and try to strangle one of them with the microphone, with a headphone cord, because, all right, so like, you go buy a bottle of water, like you saying, sure, you don't need a tip. If you're at because we were talking about weed, so you're at a dispensary buying some weed, and they help you out, and you talk to them, and blah blah blah. Put a few dollars in the cup.
Yeah,
Like
I do that.
you walk up, like you said, walk up to the bar, and you get a beer. If you go to a bar and you ask for water and you hang out in the establishment for a while, you should be tipping for that water. It doesn't matter what's in the cup. They went and got it for you.
That's fair.
Doesn't matter if
Okay.
it's an empty cup. They went over and got the cup and gave it to you. You should tip them. Like,
Okay.
I think, you're at a sit down restaurant. Sure, you tip a little bit more because there's more that goes on in it. But yeah, you're at a bar. You should definitely always tip. Doesn't matter. Yeah, if you're at a convenience store and it has a thing that says tip,
Yeah.
I haven't
No.
seen that personally. But yeah, you don't tip. It's different. It's just a transaction kind of thing. So I don't know. When I hear people saying that they don't have to tip, I think that they're A, pieces of shit. B, they've never worked very hard, and they definitely haven't worked in the service industry. That's my opinion. I think if you go somewhere and you have terrible, terrible service and a terrible time, I think then that's when you start thinking about maybe not tipping. If everything was bad, it took a long time, the glass was like, people were mean, like, sure, you get what you pay for, blah blah,
Right.
and vice versa, like you you get what you put in, kind of thing.
Right.
Then I understand not tipping or not tipping very much. But yeah, those guys, I watched that video a couple of times. Um, when I find out find out their channel and everything, I'm gonna I'll tag them. They suck. They're idiots. They had soft hands. Never worked hard for anything. If they're judging everyone by saying that, not tipping, then I'm gonna judge them. Like,
Yeah.
they're idiots. You're not
Well,
tipping.
I think it's a fine line if you have a tip jar in front of where you work.
Hmm.
I think I'm going along with what you're saying, but in my way, this is what I do in person. If you have a tip jar, not digital. I'm not hip to digital tips. I'll do it if I have to. If that's the way that they decided to run the establishment and you deserve a tip, you'll get a tip. But mainly the hang up that I have is when you go to like a sports venue and they're charging you what they're charging you for that kind of shit, and then they handed you something, and then they're like they flip the screen around and they put the tip thing in your face. I don't tip there. You handed me a thing of Skittles. I get it. That's just, I'm sorry. You work for Aramark or whoever the fuck you work for. You're not even getting those tips. That's been researched. The company came up with that shit to offset your pay. I prefer cash. Seriously, if you have a tip jar in front of you and I feel you deserve a tip, I will put money in the fucking jar. But if it's corporate, they usually won't let you have a fucking tip jar. They'll
Hmm.
make you tip so that it all comes out electronically so taxes are paid. And who knows what they're actually doing with the money. So in any case, I walk that line. I don't tip there because I know that they're not getting the fucking money anyway. But I will tip if I see a tip jar. I have ones. I'll put money in there. Absolutely. You make me ice cream. I'll put money in your tip jar if I have it. Sure, that's not a problem. I don't think it should be expected, and I don't think it's fair that they always flip it around and say, "Here's where you're going to tip." It's like, yeah, but you didn't earn anything. No offense, and now you're telling me I'm going to tip you.
Well, they flip it
So
around so you could sign it and put your
They
card in.
say they say this is where you pick your tip, the amount you want to tip, and sign. Like they say, tip
Hmm.
me. It's like,
Well, I'm sorry, but I'm going against you. You should do it every time because I have worked in those places. I've worked in sports arenas and in the kitchen and stuff, and I have gotten my tips. I have gotten my tips. So, I mean, you do what it's cool.
I'm not. Hey, we're allowed to have a difference of
Yeah,
opinion.
but
Absolutely. I'm not
I'm with them 100% of the time, always because I am them.
cool.
So
Gotcha.
it's just one of those things like like I just think that if someone does something for you, you give them a little bit of tip, and then putting it. They're not like no one's putting it in like they're just like this is customary. This is what we do. We tip, and and you have a choice not to. It says no tip. You get hit no tip. You
I,
know,
I do hit no tip. I don't. That wasn't there 5 years ago.
right?
That's all there is to it.
But it was always implied on it when you get the receipt and you sign. It's always been there. This is just a digital version of that. When you get
Fair
the
enough.
receipt and you get the receipt and the sign, it says tip, it says gratuity. It's actually the same. It's just digital now. It's
I
always
mean,
been like that.
then just I like the stations where you walk through and pick your shit. Then
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
don't. I'm sorry, man. I'm not doing it. It's the shit's too expensive. You're charging me $13 for a bottle of water, and you're asking me for a dollar or two more for a fucking bottle of water.
Right.
I disagree. If you fucking wait on me, if I order something from you and you bring me my food,
Yeah.
if I order a beer and you give me my fucking beer, you're getting a tip, dude. I bring cash on purpose. I understand. And if I worked in an industry and I knew that tips were a part of it, like that would be, I would make sure that, like, yeah, this is part of what I bring home. I want to make sure I'm getting tipped. I believe we should be getting tipped here.
Right.
I won't work for somewhere like fucking Aramark at a venue and expect those people to do that. I don't, I think that's crazy. You're going to
Right.
tip me a dollar for giving you Skittles and a bottle of water? What the fuck would you do that for? Like, that's just my logic. There's a line there. Everyone has their point. I don't disagree. I don't agree with what they're saying because it sounds to me like they've never had to grind it out for tips. I have, you have, we both have. I get tips at this other gig. I mean, I have. I'm just doing my job, but everyone who works in there gets fucking tipped out.
Yeah.
But they're getting a service. They're bringing them food. They're giving them fucking beverages. They're doing so they should be getting tips. Absolutely. But I just feel like corporations who are like, hey, we're going to use this as a way to fucking pay you instead of us paying you more money to work here,
Hmm.
we're going to stick it on the customer.
Right.
And it's like, listen, man, I just spent 50 fucking dollars because I got snacks. Like, and it is a recession. I get it. I mean, to me, it's fucking hard. It's like
Hmm.
you're trying to make money. I'm trying to make money. To me, like that's the one place I don't go crazy for it. I feel like anywhere they can just put a tip screen in your face, they do it now, and it's like it's pressuring people. You know, it's just like, listen, I can make that decision for myself, like you said, just by writing it here. But it just feels like it's literally in your face. You know, it's like, bang, here's a big screen. Are you going to say yes or no? And you're like, I don't agree with this. Like, so it makes you feel awkward. And I think that's what people don't want. They don't like feeling awkward about doing something that they've always done, not
Mm-hmm.
tipping for certain things and tipping for others. But I
Right.
agree where you're coming from. You're in the service industry. You think if a human does anything for you, you should be tipped. I don't necessarily agree with that all the time. Certain jobs, you don't need to fucking tip me. I took this job. I sell gasoline and fucking soda. You don't need to tip me. I give you slices of pizza. You don't need to fucking tip me. I don't care. I didn't do anything. Here it is. Next, next,
Mm-hmm.
next. That to me. But if someone's making your fucking burritos for you, like literally in front of you, it's an experience. And there's the tip jar. I tip. Fuck yeah, I tip. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
I just watched you make my burrito. That was awesome. And you gave it to me. Here you go. Tip. So in most places I do, I get where they're coming from, but I'm not 100% on board with what they're saying.
Right.
It's a fine line. I mean, no disrespect to anybody,
Mm-hmm.
but it is my fucking money and I'll give it where I believe it's right. And I am a generous person when I can be. I feel if you deserve the tip, you'll get one. I've earned tips. I've bagged people's fucking groceries, shoveled them to the car. A dollar per cart is what I got if I was lucky. Worked my ass off, and that's all I made was tips. No money at all. No fucking no hourly pay. I bagged groceries, and they just tipped me. Went home with a roll, and I earned that roll. That's it. And I didn't bitch. That's my roll. That's what I've earned. My dad used to tip people in fucking change. He didn't give anybody. He was a tight ass. I didn't wait on him.
Yeah.
I went with everyone else. So I mean, no disrespect to anyone, but at the same time, you do what you feel is right. Me personally, if someone waits on you, they should be fucking have 100%. Waitresses, people who live on fucking tips, of course I'm going to tip you. But if you're working for another situation, maybe not. It just depends. If you're
Mm-hmm.
knocking it out of the park, yeah, fuck yeah, I'll do it. But if it's just like next, it's like okay, I was nothing. You didn't win nothing. You gave me this. That's it. It was a very
Right.
quick transaction. You
Mm-hmm.
did nothing. You didn't have to. So sorry. So anyway, I agree with you. I get where you're coming from. I like that we have a difference of opinion on this
Sure.
because you are in that industry and I get it. I mean, no disrespect, but I'm not some dude who's never worked and saying, if I'm standing up, I'm not going to tip. Usually you are standing up these days.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, really. You're ordering something, you're taking it home,
Mm-hmm.
but they made your food and they fucking got it ready and there you go. You tip your delivery driver.
I think my main point is if it's customary to tip, then you tip. If it's not customary to tip, then you don't need the tip.
Right. And I think that line's being blurred and pushed a little bit for some people, but I'm going to go off of what was customary 5 years ago. That's where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
If you've added new ways or new reasons for tipping, I tip the barber. That's not something. I mean, there's people I've been tipping my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
That's all there is to it. And the fucking haircut is $40 now, and it looks
Yeah.
like this. I still give a fucking tip. Now I just won't get a haircut for 6 months. So at the same point, with that being made, if you're going to go somewhere and they're going to tip or you're supposed to tip, don't fucking go if you're not going to do it.
Right.
Seriously, don't go somewhere if you're just not going to tip at all. Because honestly, they deserve to spit in your shit if that's how it's going to be. Because they make a living on that.
Mm-hmm.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but most people who work for tips get a very low fucking wage.
Yes.
Isn't it minimum
Yeah.
or less?
That will minimum for sure because it legally has to be. But
Okay.
yeah, most of the time, like just an example, bartenders, because that's
Fuck yeah.
their bread and butter is their tips. Is they usually make minimum wage or maybe 50 cents or $1 over.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, they're they're all tips. Some of them because of taxes and they make tips. Some places your paycheck is like zero. Your actual paycheck. So you really are only working for tips.
Right.
I have
That's what
known
I've
people
heard.
that like
Yeah.
their paycheck is like sometimes $0 or like $20 when they worked, 30 hours. It's all because of taxes and because they get tips. But they're making, like quite a bit.
Well, those are the people I tip. Like that's what I'm getting at. Those are the people that work for the fucking tips. That's what they get paid. That's where I tip. Always have. And even some people who don't. You get a $40 haircut and I still tip you. You're welcome. Like 40, that's enough. You don't have to tip. It's not expected, but I do it there too.
Right.
I just feel like when I just feel like when Big Brother gets involved, and I've been in situations, and it's just like, this ain't, you're
Right.
pushing it. You're pushing
Right.
it. I'm sorry, it's just not for me. I'm with you. Don't, I don't. I mean, that's just me. I know some people get uncomfortable with it, and I'm like, hey, listen, I know you feel I should tip, and if I sat here and we chatted it up for a minute and you made me laugh, I get it. You're throwing some
Mm-hmm.
personality in there, but if you're literally just taking something from behind you and putting it in front of you and ringing it up, I'm not. I'm not. Unless it's your shop or some shit, and you got a tip jar because you're, like your record store or something, and you got a tip jar just because, and I liked you. You earned that money to me. Like a lot of it, you kind of earn with your personality. So if you're not giving me any of your personality, what am I tipping? Where's the
Mm-hmm.
personal experience? You come to me, you fucking take my order, all this shit. Of course you're getting fucking tipped. And if you do it right, you're going to get tipped really well. If you do it bad and you didn't, then you'll get tipped less. That's your gauge on how well you did, right?
Yeah, I get your point, but my another point I want to make is, in a way, if you're not, and this isn't to make anyone feel bad, so that's not my intention, but it's just another way to maybe look at it differently. Is all those, like, you go to the like a sporting event, and you go get a beer and a hot dog, let's say, or a bag of chips, something that's pretty easy to produce. Um, and they're expensive, right? And a lot of people say, "Oh, I don't want to have to tip on top of a $10 beer and an $8 bag of chips or whatever," right? Because it
Mm-hmm.
does seem a little intense. But that tip, let's say, because like one of your points was that it doesn't always go to them when it's a big corporation. Let's say it does, though. Let's say it does, and they did kind of a menial little task, handing you a bag of chips and then a pre-poured beer. That's all they're doing. They're just like, there you go. If you don't tip, my way of thinking, my opinion is, you're 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 not tipping them because the product was too expensive. Like a $10 beer, $8 bag of chips. You're almost at $20 just with the product without tipping. Some people say, I don't want to tip on top of that. Well, it's not the people's fault that working there of how much things are. They didn't price the things. They didn't open this. They're just working there. So if you're not tipping them, in my opinion, you're just kind of on the big corporation side. You're not. The corporation is the reason why that shit is so expensive. It's not the people working there. It's not their
No,
fault.
but the corporation's argument, and this is public, that they raise the cost of their food and product to pay their employees more because the fucking cost of everything has gone up.
Right.
That minimum wage has gone up. And I want to back all this up with something that I was told from someone in one of those situations. She literally, I went to the tip. She's like, "You don't need to tip. We're not getting the money." She worked for Aramark, flat out.
Mm-hmm.
And I backed that up at another place. Another person said, "We do not get the money. There doesn't matter."
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, and I'm like, "Well, why don't you have a tip jar?" We're not allowed.
They're
It's
not allowed to
corporate.
take cash. Yeah.
So I just want to back that up, that I'm not coming up with this shit in my head. Literally, someone was like, "You're wasting your money. You're giving it to Aramark. We're not getting it. We
Mm-hmm.
get a flat rate. No one is breaking this up afterwards." And I was like, "Oh, well, fuck them then.
Right.
Fine. You make
Well.
$19 an hour. That's what you're going to get on your check. Fuck them." But if you're like, "This is my establishment," or something, I know you're getting the money, it's going straight to you. I'd rather just give you cash. Like, bang, there's a done. I like cash tips. Everyone does because the man doesn't get in the middle. It's nice. So I will do that. I love doing that shit. I'm not against tipping. People who are get fucked. To be
Mm-hmm.
very clear, because I might end up in a job where I get tipped again. Who knows? The world ain't over yet. I still got to work. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
And
not going to shoot myself in the foot there. But if you're telling me that the company is not giving you the fucking money, then I'm under the impression you're not getting the fucking money.
Yeah. No.
So
I
what's the
know.
difference?
I get that, and I agree with that. And if I knew that, then of course I wouldn't.
That's where I'm coming from.
Right. But see, I've worked in places like that. I've worked for like the Moda Center
Okay.
before, at one of those little kiosks. I worked for a place, and they had it was like, it wasn't, but it was like a Sizzle Pie or Killer Burger. It was like a place that was,
Yeah, satellite. Yeah, I get it.
I got that.
Yeah, but I mean, if
and
you
they
work
and they didn't
right,
have
but I
a
mean, that may have not been that may have been a satellite. I don't know. I'm just saying, was it a corporately owned thing, or was it like a satellite of a chain in the area?
yeah, it was like a chain in the area.
So, just saying, that's why you got tipped, I believe, because
Hmm.
they're a smaller business that just got their location in the venue, which is awesome because it does great business for them.
Hmm.
And I would tip you too. I'm like, yeah, this is fucking Killer Burger. Like, there you go. But if I'm just talking about the generic,
Right.
pretzel shit. They're not getting paid. Plus, if you're back in Philly, I'm just being honest. You get a fucking bottle of water from somebody. They basically have their finger up while they're giving it to you. The customer service is shit. No offense, but no one's happy there. So when they're like, here's your fucking water. That's basically how you're getting it. 9 times out of 10. That's just the attitude.
Hmm.
So if you're telling me on top of that, you're not getting the money, I'm not wasting my fucking time. You know what I mean? But if you're nice to me, seriously, it's hard to be nice in this world. So if you're doing that, you're going above and beyond, or you took the right drugs at the right time, and I just came across you in a good mood. I will fucking tip you. I always see if I have any ones in my roll. I always do that. And I like doing that because I've made that money. I'm giving it right back. My kid does the same thing. She cleans fucking rooms. She has a wad, rolls it out, gives it. We just forward it right to the people that money's going right to the next person who collects tips. That's all it is. You take your tip money and you give it to the next person. So I'm all about that. But if big man, if Big Brother's getting involved, fuck them.
Right.
That's
Well,
all there
see,
is to it.
that's where the lines get blurred, though, right? Because
Yeah, because
you
they're
don't
fucking with the lines.
you don't know. You don't like
You don't
you
know, so now you have to ask, like, are you getting this?
yeah.
I'll tip you
And
if you're going to get it.
and yeah, if I know that they're not going to get, of course not. Of
Right.
course not. But yeah. So I think we're like, we're on the same page basically.
We're
It's
not.
just
Yeah, we're. I don't. I
it
don't. I'm not trying to come off as an asshole who doesn't tip because I'd be selling myself way fucking short. But
oh,
as
well,
I
no.
said, I hate fucking corporate America. We all know that.
Yeah.
I fucking hate them. So if I know that they're just like, I'm wearing a suit and tie and we're fucking people over it, oh my fucking god, I want to use you as a fucking living room table and I want to eat off your back, you piece of shit. Don't like corporations. But if you're getting the money, I got you. Seriously, you're getting the money? Hey, not a problem. So my new practice when I'm in these corporate settings, since I'm an asshole anyway, is just to be like, excuse me, Stacy, are you going to get this dollar tip? No. All right, fuck them. Here's $1. You know what I mean? Just
Hmm.
start giving people dollar bills. Like, bang, put that in your pocket.
Yeah.
That's what we should be doing. If you're going to tip somebody,
I
instead
have done
just
that.
put a dollar in their fucking hand.
I have done, even though there's no tip jar. I've just kind of like dropped money on the counter before.
I think that
I've done that.
I think that's a good idea. Fuck them.
Hmm.
Like that's seriously like, you know what? I'm not going to do this because it's all going to be you're going to get 70 cents because Uncle Sam's going to take 30 of that. But I'll give you $1 right now. Put it in your pocket.
Yeah.
There you go. And to me, like actually, I like that idea a lot because to me, I always like to give the finger to the corporations, most of them, just because they just can't stop taking more, and we always get less. So that to me, that works, and it's a nice fuck you. Just be like, oh no, I'm not doing that, but here's $1. You just put it straight in your pocket. 100% of that is yours. You've earned it.
Yeah.
I like that. So now I'm gonna make sure I always have a couple of ones. I usually do, but to my point, I want to know you're getting the money. I'm
Hmm.
not an asshole Chad who's like, hey, fuck them. If I'm standing up, you're not getting money because that's not fair. My feet hurt when I stand up, giving people shit all day, giving them whatever they ask for. So I get that. I'm not out here to fuck anybody over. But if you're not getting the money, I'm not helping you. But to their point, I disagree with that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's part of your pay and you expect it.
Well,
As long as you're getting the money, we're good.
and Tony, I know that you're a tipper. You tip, and if you weren't, I'll just be honest. Like,
We
if
wouldn't
I
be
know
friends.
someone that, yeah, I know some.
I know
If I
you.
know someone that isn't tipping, I'm like, sorry. I know this is maybe like you won't understand this, but we can't be friends. Like,
No, right.
I've been out with people, and they have brought someone that has just like X'd out the tip line like at a bar, and I was just
No,
like,
no, 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 no,
why do
no.
you hang out with him? they don't tip at all, don't hang out with them. Like Steve Buscemi's character in Reservoir Dogs, we wouldn't be friends. We would not be friends.
Yeah,
In that movie.
that's a valid. Yeah, I like that's a good pull. Good, yeah, good reference, dude.
Yeah.
That's the whole. We should have just shown that clip and shut the fuck up.
I know, right?
Cut off somebody's ear at the end. That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
You don't want to tip? Hello, 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 hello. We're gonna cut your ear off. How about that? Yeah, if you're let's say this. If you're assholes who are professionally getting paid to make a podcast and you're running out of ideas like that one, think about it for a second. Maybe go work for 6 months getting tips, or maybe you'll have to one day because podcasts are aplenty. So I wish you the best if you're actually profiting from this shit. Alex and I are going to go to work later because that's what we actually do for a living. So this is fun for us. But if you're just running out of ideas and like, I disagree with you. Long story short, but we're all here to learn lessons. Mm-hmm. So if you really feel that way, you'll learn yours eventually. We all do. But I believe in tipping. I just don't like giving it to the man. So that's all there is to it.
No,
if you get the money,
that's legit. I think we both at the end realized that we both think the same thing. Just kind of
it's one of those things. What I like about our debate is that we started out different. Like this was, I mean, it sounds crazy, but this was fun because it did kind of exercise anyone who listens to this can be like, wow, the 2 points are being explored, but we came to a basic premise that we both agree we hook people up. It's just, I don't like, the man definitely got involved in the last 4 years. Mm-hmm. That's all there is to it. And I just don't like that they get taxed on it. Like that's bullshit. You know, if it's digital, it can be traced. It'll be taxed.
Yeah. Well,
why the fuck should the government get a piece of your fucking tip? They get a piece of every fucking thing.
Yeah. And I agree. And not to sound repetitive, but like that has always been the beginning of time. Like I've always been taxed on credit card tips. On credit card tips, you always get taxed because there's a paper trail then, and they could see it. So that's another good point is if you have cash, tip in cash because then the worker is gonna get more of it at the end of the day because I know people that are bartenders and like I said earlier, like the most their pay, the majority of it is tax, or I mean not tax, but is tips. So at the end of the year, if they have a lot of credit card tips, which is mostly that nowadays, mostly on people's credit card, they're going to get taxed from it because the IRS could see. Yeah. So, credit card tip, fine. That's fine. I do that all the time. At least you're tipping and it works out then. But if you have cash and, cash is king, it's better.
Right. Well, I thought that was an interesting topic, and it's good to see that we're still friends.
Yeah. No, it worked out.
I was like, dude's been out with me. He knows I'm not a prick. Like, straight up, I'm not.
Right.
It's funny how people who barely have any money are always the ones giving it to other people.
Yep, always.
And those assholes that are like, oh, I have a bunch of money. It's like, you probably don't share it very much, do you? You don't share. You like the numbers, so good for you. You might be an asshole. I don't know. But we went long, but we're gonna finish up here. I like that it got kind of tense and aggressive because the music we're about to talk about is a little tense and a little aggressive.
It's Zen music for me. It's beautiful.
It's what?
Zen music.
Baby making music. Is this how you?
Is that what I said? I said baby making music.
No, well, you said it. You said it's Zen music for you, but
yeah,
to me, I mean, maybe this is just how you get down.
Yeah, I have to meditate to have sex, Tony. I have to be in a Zen state, So
the band is called Whores.
Yeah.
Sorry. And the name of the song?
Back When We Were Savages.
That's right. So, why did you choose this song?
Oh, because it's off their new album called War. And I like this band a lot. I love this band actually, and it's a good song. That's it. It's just like I thought it was a great song, and feel like everyone should listen to it, and that's about it. That's why I picked it. You asked why, and that's it.
I want to know, like, of all the songs on the album, is this just the one that jumped out at you, or?
That just like musically, I liked it the most out of all of them. So it's like that's
No,
why,
I get it. Yeah, exactly. I'll listen to a whole album and be like, that's the song right there.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
this is the one out of the whole album. This is the one that I personally, I didn't, I have listened to, I think I've listened to all their stuff. Um, as I've said in the past, fantastic gym music. But what I really dig about this is that it's loud and intense, um, but you can understand the words.
Hmm.
Still don't know. The one thing about Spotify, they did not have the lyrics for this one. So I understood, I got the chorus, but in
Yeah,
any case, to me, it's just like, it's like jet fuel. Like that's what it reminds me of. I just feel like I'm riding on like one of those jet powered motorcycles. I'm listening to this shit. Just it kicks ass. Like it's got a good rhythm, a good pace, and
yeah,
like I said, it's clear. They slow it down a little bit, here and there. Like it's not just 100 miles an hour the whole time, but good mix to it, good flow. It's like rock and roll on steroids. So like
yeah.
what is it classified as? Is it metal
So that's the
or
thing is I don't really. It's kind of like has a has a punk metal. I don't
okay?
know. To be honest with you, like this is kind of a bad term because but it's just hard rock. It's just rock and roll. It's just
Cool.
aggressive
That's what
hard rock. Like
I'm.
you know
Yeah,
what
I
I
don't know the
mean?
genres. To me, it's rock and roll with, like I said, poured like jet fuel, poured all over it.
Yeah. It's not really. It's not a genre. Like it's not one genre. I mean, it's not. It's punk, but it's also a little bit different. And it's not metal. It's like it's a blend. It's a
Right.
nice blend.
Yeah. Yeah. They and yeah, they're actually coming through town. I don't know if we'll get to see them, but
Yeah,
that's funny
they're
that
gonna
they are.
be in town on Wednesday. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make it, which sucks because it would have been perfect because it's what we're. I don't know, maybe.
I was like, well, we'll wait 3 days and record the fucking show after we've seen their show. If this is,
Yeah,
it's that's what's. But yeah, it's in any case, it doesn't always match up. But my ears already started ringing when you asked me. I was like, fuck.
yeah,
Well, the
um,
Star Theater, where it is a small venue where we saw
yeah.
big business, and I had my earplugs in there, and my shit still hurt. And I was like,
I've seen them before in a small venue, and that like in a venue, they were um opening for a band Retox, who you and I have seen before. Retox opened for the Melvins once,
hmm,
and we saw the Retox open for the Melvins, and Whores was on tour with Retox, and I saw them at the Ash Street Saloon downtown Portland. Ash Street Saloon, shitty little bar. It has a big venue though, and a huge stage, like the where the bands play, like big tall stage, like way too tall, like five. Like the stage is like five, like over people, like over people's heads. Like it was like came up to here on me. I've been on that stage before.
I could
Way
see up your pants.
Yeah, like it's too tall of a stage for a venue that has huge high ceilings, and there was no one in there. There was probably like 15 to 20 people in the show, and they were all spread out. And I know that for the bands, it was probably like shitty. Obviously, not very many people came to the show, and there were touring acts.
Mhm.
But sorry for them. But also, I liked it. It's like, there's no one in here really. This is cool.
Right.
There's a Portland band called Rabbits opened, and
Hmm.
they're a good band as well. So yeah, like three really um, good acts that were
So you're
there.
saying because of the lack of crowd, you had room to do your meditation.
Exactly.
That it made this zen for you. So I just picture you sitting there like Buddha with this shit going on, and other people are rearranging each other with service trays and whatever they can find in the venue, and you're centering your chi.
Yeah, I am. My chi is centered.
Right.
It
So you
was
listen to this shit to take a nap after you've eaten the part of your gummy golf ball, and I'm
exactly.
over here lifting weights harder than I ever have because it feels like someone's beating me over the head with a 2x4.
Yeah,
So yeah, we take it differently, but I like that we both enjoy the same music.
yeah. You know it's the same medicine, different results.
The majority of what you pick is in in a vein of like this
Yeah,
kicks ass, and I'm over here like I'm actually picking Zen music or things that hit my heartstrings because I'm an emotional bag of dicks, and
yeah.
you're over here just like 100 miles an hour. The car's doing 100, but you're eating filet mignon in the back seat very carefully.
Oh
That's
man,
you.
I'd like some filet. That'd be great.
I picture. You said you want to get married at a courthouse. I see you getting married at a nitroglycerin plant.
Oh,
Something loud and full of danger.
yeah.
Do you? What? Yeah.
Huh?
Fuck yeah. Yeah, I do. Ah! She does too. You just can't hear her. Down there. A little shorter. Oh, that's fucking funny. Good band. Second time we've listened to them.
Yeah.
Whores.
What'd you think of the song? Like, what'd you get out of it?
I mean, I said I like this one. I like the song. There's the chorus in there. I still buzz me. I'm trying to figure out what they're saying because I'm like saying it, but I don't know what the fuck they're saying. So I don't trying to sing along and I can't. So if I'm trying to sing along to something heavy, I'm into it. And I've heard it. It was so good that I was just like, let's just do more of this.
Hmm.
And I've listened to all the different albums all over the place. So to me, like this song's good. I don't really know if there's any that are better. Maybe there's a few that I personally like just because I like the way they were put together. I told you of a different one that you said we've already covered that album.
Yeah.
But there are other songs there is one song that really jumps out at me. But in any case, I still have my hits and not have, I like their whole fucking catalog. They just have that rhythm. They have that pace and that speed. That's fast rock.
Yeah.
And that's perfect for me. That's exactly what I need at certain parts of my day. So I thought the song was awesome, but I wish I could understand the hook.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. And Spotify did not fucking help me on that one. So
Yeah, I guess you would have to look, just like Google the song or Google the song lyrics, I
listen.
guess.
I had to
You know
turn
what I
on
mean?
subtitles the other day, and they're not coming off. Okay, my hearing is shot to shit. My eyes are going. Pretty soon, I'll be like I'll be like Bird Box. I'll be wearing a fucking blindfold because I don't want people to see my crazy eyes. And I'll be recording this by accident. Like, I think I pushed record. Like, it's getting bad. So in any case, yeah, I have to like look shit up and read it to see what the fuck's going on. So I'm happy with slowly breaking down into nothing.
Yeah.
That's what's happening. So yeah, I wish that Spotify helped me out. You're right. I should have Googled. I didn't.
Well, I mean,
But
yeah.
I'm
Next time,
lazy.
huh?
I'm lazy. There's a lot of things I could do,
Yeah.
but
I like the song. Like I said, the reason why I picked is just because I liked it, and honestly, another reason why I picked it is because I liked the whole album. So in my head, I could just point blind at songs, and that's almost what
well,
I
that's
did. And there's other reasons I'm realizing the reason why I picked it, not the reason why I like it. The reason why I picked it also is because it wasn't didn't have a star next to it. It wasn't one of the singles. It was just a plain song that I think stood out on the album that wasn't a single. You know what I mean? Like
right. So
it
you're
wasn't a
saying
single.
when the album was made, sometimes they say these are going to be the hits,
Yeah, these
and
are
we
going to be
look
the
at the
hits.
album and we're like, I think this one's more of a hit, or I
Or
like
yeah,
it.
I think it's it hit also, and I like the progression of the song where it does pick up and go, and then it has some musical like
Peaks and
just more
valleys.
musical parts, like just like different.
Instrumental, yeah,
Yeah, it's a roller. It has roller coaster vibes to ups and downs, and I think that's
exactly.
what downs isn't a bad thing. It's just like
No,
more musicality to it, and I like that. And I've always liked the guy's voice. I think he's got like a cool sounding, like it's not a scream. It's like he's yelling. He's
right.
yelling,
Yeah,
not screaming.
yeah.
He's not
Oh
like
yeah,
It's like like I don't know, it's different. He's yelling it.
yeah. And that's one of my love languages. So that's probably why I like it. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
yelling that I can understand with guitars.
yeah.
Yell at me with love. Yeah. I like I said, I think it kicks ass. That's all there is to it. And I'm gonna keep asking. I think we should keep asking each other why we pick shit because that fucks with it. Like
Yeah.
ah. Oh, I gotta have a fucking reason now.
I know you asked me why. I was like, why? What do you mean why?
No,
I like it.
it's more fun. But I mean, we got more out of it now, right? You're like thinking, you're like, all right, motherfucker, why did I pick this shit over
Yeah.
everything else? Like, well, I like it because of this, and I like it because of that. Like, there
I
you
know
go.
when he asked me
asshole.
that, I was just like, fuck you mean why?
No, these are interview questions. This is how you get something out of a topic. I know what the
Yeah.
fuck I'm doing. I've watched YouTube.
Oh no, I agree. I was just it caught me off guard. Like, why?
Fuck yeah.
What do you mean, why, Tony?
Well, you're about to shoot me for being a non-tipper, so I had to even it up.
Right, exactly.
Oh, fucking A, man. If we're nothing else, we're real. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, seriously, good suggestion. They're on it. They're gonna be on my list now of go-to shit. Like I know we reviewed them before, but now they're like stuck in my head as one of those bands I can go to when I need fuel in my tank. When I want to listen to something that matches my more aggressive mood, which I go through 10 times a day. They're on the list, and that's awesome. The mental list, not the long list on Spotify of all the bands you've liked, but the mental. I'll be seeking these dudes out for a while. They joined the Melvins and other other bands that I listen to when I'm in the gym, that kind of thing.
Well,
I don't need to listen to this kind of shit when I'm behind the wheel. Alex would agree with that. That's why I listen to like Linda Ronstadt and shit, and I'm still doing 130 mile an hour zone. So I don't need fast music when I'm driving my car. Ridiculous. But yeah, good for the right for old Tony G. It's got its time and place.
right. And kind of back to the genre thing, I feel like they fit into a genre with other bands that don't necessarily have one genre, like the Melvins, Big Business, like the Jesus Lizard, like things like that. Like they call all of that like post punk or post grunge, like because it sounds similar to a style, but it happened afterwards. So like. That's like the best I could do as far as placing a genre on it. I would say it's post punk.
Yeah,
But
I ask you that because you know the names of these things like post punk, and I fucking don't. I remember when it was in the '90s. It was rock, rap, country, pop, classical. That's it.
mm-hmm.
So it was some version of that, and then the 2000s, it was just like no, 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 no. And I was like, well, wait, if you keep doing this, then every band is going to have their own fucking genre because they're taking something that they like, mashing three things together and then putting their flavor in it too. It's a hybrid. Everything's a fucking hybrid. Unless you're going back to the basics, like some bands like, we're going to go back and sound like Led Zeppelin again. Like, okay, do that. That's rock and roll, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. Fuck the genres. I just say it's fast rock.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's like,
And if I'm in a fast rock mood, I'll be putting them on. So anyway, back when it's Whores and the song again.
back when we were savages.
Got it. There it is.
And,
So
yeah,
if you haven't heard it, check it out.
great band, great song. I enjoyed it. I'm gonna keep on enjoying it.
Yeah, he is. That's right.
This fucking.
So speaking of enjoying, we've gone over. You're welcome. We usually only give you an hour. We're giving you $1.50. So
Yeah.
you're welcome.
I didn't take an account for this. I have to grab the wheel but not pull the phone over.
What I like is our lack of professionalism and how we can fucking roll with anything.
Yeah, the lack of professionalism it's our quirk. It's part of our show. It's our gimmick. This is on purpose. This isn't on accident.
That's what I told him. I was like, "Don't you dare go buy another computer. We're gonna figure this shit out with the money we have, which is nothing."
Yeah, exactly.
Our budget is $0. Let's stay there. By the way, if you have anything you want to donate, like masks, outfits, things to make anything, seriously, crazy shit, we don't want to buy them, but we'll take weird outfits, masks, helmets, whatever, to make our cute little clips that we make more fun. So if you own a costume shop and you're closing down, sorry, but you can send us your shit. Alex has room in his toy chest that he's hanging out in over there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't, but I always got more room for it. Thanks. I don't have room.
I would love to have
send it to me.
Like one of those big treasure chests in your house, not mine. In your house, and when you open it up, it creaks.
Your house.
And it smells funny, but everything that's in there we want to use. That's what needs to be in his house. I want it to be big, and I want it to be a pain in the ass to move.
And that's why you want to at someone else's
Yeah,
house,
fuck
not
yeah.
yours.
All right, so on to the music. If you've made it this far, thank you very much for watching. We really appreciate it, and we're going to pick some music real quick. Looks like Alex did some marker work. Those are very vibrant, or your iPhone just really pulls the colors out.
Yeah, it's a little bit of both, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, your Apple. A lot of people say your camera sucks, but the video is looking okay here. I'm liking it. It's almost as good as this Android.
Good.
Oh, stab at you, Apple folk. All right, let's see here. In the number 1 spot, we have Fist City by Loretta Lynn. I really can't wait till we can cover this one because to me, it's fucking. I love it. Second, number 2, Tupac. Only God Can Judge Me. Number 3, one of my many moods. I found this the other day. The band is called Salt, Sault. The song is called Wildfires.
Okay.
Something Alex will listen to while he's chewing on his gummy ball. Number 4 is An Empty Spot. Number 5 is the Melvins with Working the Ditch. Number 6 is 16 Horsepower with Sackcloth and Ashes is the song. Number 7 is Shellac with the song I Don't Fear.
I don't fear hell. I don't fear hell.
Thank you. Look at Alex is on point. See? Like I said, very professional. Number 8, Poor Eeyore with Flying. Number 9, I know Alex can't wait for this one. We Don't Talk About Bruno from the Enchanto soundtrack.
No, I am excited.
I know you are. You're playing Disney movies all week.
Yeah.
And number 10 is Sharon Jones with a Heartstopper, Pass Me By.
Pass Me By.
Definitely not hard rock. So those are that's what's on the wheel. Let's see what we land on.
All right.
Rev it up. Oh, there you go.
6.
Number 6, 16 Horsepower, Sackcloth and Ashes. So I have a feeling more fuel in my tank.
I could be wrong, but I think the song is called Slackcloth and Ashes.
Well,
But
as your attorney, I'll fix that.
the note, it's called one of the two, so you'll figure it out.
Say something clever real quick. I'll look it up.
Say something clever. Well, that brings us to the end of the show, people, humans.
There it is. It is the album Sack. It's Sack, not no L.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah.
Sackcloth. I don't know what it is, but it's Sackcloth and Ashes. That's the name of the album. Is it also a song?
Oh, I know what happened, Tony. I'm glad that we. The name of the song is "I Seen What I Saw." The name of the song is "Seen What I Saw." You have the album written, yeah. So, 16 Horsepower. I Seen What I Saw. It's off of that album, Sackcloth and Ashes.
It's the first track, so that's easy enough. I Seen What I Saw by 16 Horsepower. As I said, professionalism oozing out of us. Thank you for supporting us. Seriously, thank you very much. We've seen the likes, we've seen the follows, and we fucking appreciate it. We've been at this for a couple of years. We'll take anything we can get. Thank you so much for supporting us. That's it. Gave you an hour and a half long show. Hope you like the bit about tipping. We went for about 30 minutes. So if you have an opinion about that, hey, listen, don't be scared to throw it in there. Throw some comments in. We're into this. We approach it with the same professionalism we approach everything else. So, take that for what it is. But thank you very much. And Alex will tell you how to worship us as usual.
Go to Instagram and you can direct message us a band and a song. And please do that because we obviously don't know what we're doing. So
there's a lot of shit out there we don't cover. That's your job.
So Instagram direct message a band and the song, one song. Or the most popular way is go to YouTube and go to the most recent episode, the most recent video, and you could make your suggestions in the comment section. So that being said, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.